Dreams are powerful, but they're also dangerous. They're powerful because they give you a vision of what's possible, a glimpse of the life you could live, the person you could become. They're dangerous because they can become a substitute for action, a place where you go to feel good about your potential without ever having to prove it in the real world. I meet people all the time who are incredible dreamers. They have vivid, detailed visions of their future success. They can tell you exactly what their ideal life looks like, down to the smallest details. They know what car they want to drive, what house they want to live in, what business they want to build, what impact they want to make. Their dreams are so real to them that they almost feel like they've already achieved them. But here's the problem. Dreaming about success and achieving success are two completely different things. Dreaming feels good, but it doesn't create results. Dreaming doesn't pay bills, build businesses, or transform lives. Only action does that. The world is full of dreamers, but it's desperately short on doers. Everyone wants the results, but very few people are willing to do the work. Everyone wants the destination, but very few people are willing to take the journey. Everyone wants to be successful, but very few people are willing to sacrifice what success requires. Dreaming has become a form of entertainment for most people. They spend hours imagining their perfect life, visualizing their success, and feeling good about their potential. But then they wake up and go right back to the same routine, the same habits, the same life that they were dreaming about escaping from. This is not just unproductive, it's destructive, because every moment you spend dreaming about doing something is a moment you're not actually doing it. Every hour you spend fantasizing about your future success is an hour you could have spent taking concrete steps toward making that success a reality. The gap between dreamers and achievers isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's action. Achievers understand that dreams without action are just hallucinations. They understand that the only way to make a dream real is to stop dreaming about it and start building it. Action is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers, the people who wish for success from the people who create success. Action is the bridge between your current reality and your desired future. Without action, that bridge never gets built, and you're stuck on the wrong side of the gap forever. But taking action isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. It's about understanding that not all actions are created equal. Some actions move you significantly closer to your goals, while others just keep you busy without creating meaningful progress. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the busiest people in the world. They're the people who have learned to focus their actions on the activities that create the highest return on investment. They've learned to distinguish between motion and progress, between being busy and being productive. Motion is spinning your wheels, staying busy, feeling like you're doing something without actually accomplishing anything meaningful. Progress is moving closer to your goals with every action you take. Motion makes you tired. Progress makes you successful. Right now, I want you to think about your biggest dream, your most important goal, the thing you want most in your life. Now, I want you to ask yourself a simple question. What is one concrete action you could take today that would move you closer to that dream? Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you have more time, more money, or more resources. Today, right now, what could you do in the next hour that would represent real progress toward your goal? If you can't answer that question immediately, then you're still in dreaming mode, not doing mode. Because doers always know what the next action is. They always have a clear understanding of what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. Dreamers think in terms of outcomes. Doers think in terms of actions. Dreamers focus on the destination. Doers focus on the next step. Dreamers wait for inspiration. Doers create momentum through action. The beautiful thing about action is that it creates its own motivation. You don't need to feel motivated to take action. You take action to feel motivated. You don't need to wait for inspiration to strike. You create inspiration by moving forward. You don't need to have all the answers before you start. You discover the answers by starting. Too many people think they need to have everything figured out before they can begin. They want a perfect plan, a guaranteed outcome, and a risk-free path to success. But that's not how real success works. Real success comes from taking action, despite uncertainty, despite fear, despite not having all the answers. Every successful person you've ever heard of started before they felt ready. They took action before they had all the information. They moved forward despite their doubts and fears. They understood that clarity comes through action, not through thinking. You will never feel completely ready. You will never have all the information you think you need. You will never eliminate all the risks. You will never have perfect conditions. If you wait for any of these things, you will wait forever. The time to start is when you have enough information to take the next step, not when you have enough information to complete the entire journey. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need to know where to put your foot next. Think about learning to drive a car. When you first got behind the wheel, you didn't know everything about driving. You didn't understand every traffic law, every potential scenario, every possible situation you might encounter. But you didn't wait until you knew everything. You started with the basics and learned the rest through experience. That's how success works in every area of life. You start with what you know. You take action based on that knowledge, and you learn what you need to know along the way. The road teaches you how to drive. The business teaches you how to run it. The relationship teaches you how to love. The journey teaches you how to succeed. But none of this learning happens if you never start. None of this growth occurs if you stay stuck in the planning phase. None of this progress is made if you remain in dreaming mode instead of shifting into doing mode. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we need more time to prepare. We convince ourselves that we need to read one more book, take one more course, gather one more piece of information before we're ready to begin. But this is often just a sophisticated form of procrastination disguised as preparation. Don't get me wrong, preparation is important. Learning is valuable. Education matters. But at some point you have to stop preparing and start performing. At some point you have to stop learning about success and start creating success. At some point you have to stop dreaming about doing and start actually doing. The people who achieve extraordinary results understand that done is better than perfect. They understand that a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan executed next month. They understand that taking imperfect action is infinitely more valuable than taking no action at all. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. It's the voice in your head that tells you to wait until conditions are ideal, until you're completely prepared, until you can guarantee success. But perfectionism isn't really about creating perfect results. It's about avoiding the possibility of failure. Here's the truth about failure. It's not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person has failed more times than unsuccessful people have even tried. The difference is that successful people see failure as feedback, as information, as a stepping stone to success rather than a roadblock. When you take action, you will make mistakes. You will encounter obstacles. You will face setbacks. You will have to adjust your approach, learn new skills, and sometimes start over completely. This isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. This is how growth happens. This is how you become the person capable of achieving your dreams. But none of this growth is possible if you never start. You can't fail if you never try. But you also can't succeed. You can't make mistakes if you never take action. But you also can't learn from those mistakes. You can't face obstacles if you never begin the journey. But you also can't develop the strength that comes from overcoming those obstacles. The path from dreaming to doing requires courage. It requires the courage to be imperfect, to be vulnerable, to risk failure in pursuit of success. It requires the courage to exchange the comfortable certainty of your current situation for the uncertain possibility of something better. Most people choose the known over the unknown, the certain over the uncertain, the safe over the potentially spectacular. They choose to keep dreaming because dreams feel safe. In your dreams you never fail, you never struggle, you never face criticism or judgment. In your dreams everything goes according to plan. But real life isn't a dream. Real life is messy, unpredictable, and challenging. Real success requires you to navigate uncertainty, overcome obstacles, and persist through difficulties. Real achievement demands that you exchange the safety of dreaming for the risk of doing. The transition from dreaming to doing begins with a single decision. The decision to value progress over perfection, action over analysis, momentum over meditation. It begins when you decide that an imperfect attempt is better than a perfect plan that never gets executed. But making the decision is just the first step. Sustaining action over time requires discipline, systems, and accountability. It requires you to create structures in your life that support consistent action rather than endless dreaming. This means setting specific, measurable goals with clear deadlines. Dreams are vague and open-ended. Goals are specific and time-bound. Dreams are wishes. Goals are commitments. Dreams live in your imagination. Goals live in your calendar. It means breaking down your big dreams into smaller, actionable steps. You can't wake up tomorrow and suddenly have the business, the body, the relationship, or the life of your dreams. But you can wake up tomorrow and take one specific action that moves you closer to those dreams. It means creating daily habits and routines that support your goals. Success isn't about grand gestures or heroic efforts. It's about small, consistent actions taken day after day. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. especially when you don't feel like it. It means tracking your progress and holding yourself accountable. What gets measured gets managed. What gets tracked gets improved. If you're not measuring your progress, you're probably not making as much progress as you think you are. It means surrounding yourself with other doers instead of just dreamers. The people you spend time with influence your mindset, your habits, and your results. If you're surrounded by people who talk about their dreams but never take action, you'll likely become one of them. If you're surrounded by people who consistently take action toward their goals, their energy and mindset will rub off on you. It means developing a bias toward action. When in doubt, do something. When you're not sure which direction to go, pick one and start moving. When you can't decide between two options, choose the one that requires more courage, more growth, more action. The world doesn't reward dreamers, it rewards doers. It doesn't pay people for their potential, it pays them for their performance. It doesn't care about your intentions, it cares about your results. And results only come from action. Every day you spend dreaming without doing is a day your competition is gaining on you. Every week you spend planning without executing is a week someone else is building what you're thinking about building. Every month you spend waiting for the perfect moment is a month someone else is creating their perfect life through imperfect action. Your dreams are not unique. Whatever you're dreaming about, thousands of other people are dreaming about the same thing. The difference between you and them won't be the quality of your dreams. It will be the quantity and quality of your actions. Stop dreaming about the life you want and start building the life you want. Stop imagining success and start creating success. Stop waiting for someday and start working today. Stop planning to begin and begin right now. Your dreams have been patient with you, but they won't wait forever. Eventually they'll move on to someone who's willing to do the work necessary to make them real. Don't let that someone be someone else. Let it be you. The time for dreaming is over. The time for doing is now. Your future self is counting on the actions you take today. Don't let them down.